ఎంత ఎదిగిపోయావయ్యా ఎదము పెంచుకున్నావయ్యా.
నమస్కారం, పరదేశీ పెద్దమ్మ కథలకు స్వాగతం. నాతో మెల్నీ గ్రీన్బర్గ్ ఉన్నారు చికాగో నుంచి. మనం ఇప్పటి వరకు కూడా టాలీవుడ్ కు సంబంధించి క్లాసిక్స్ గురించి మాట్లాడుకుంటూ ఉన్నాం. కానీ ఇప్పుడు అంటే 1950s-60s ఫిల్మ్స్ నుంచి ఒకసారిగా 1980s 90s ఫిల్మ్స్ గురించి కూడా మనం రివ్యూ చేసుకుంటూ ఉన్నాం. దాంట్లో భాగంగా నేను మెల్నీ ఈ వారం చిరంజీవి ఫస్ట్ డేస్ లో, అంటే తొలినాళ్ళలో ఆయన ఎట్లా ఉండేవాడు, ఎట్లాంటి సినిమాలు చేశాడు, ఆయన ఎర్లీ డేస్ లో ఆయన ఎట్లా ఉన్నాడు, ఇలాంటి సినిమాలు చూడాలని కూడా అనుకున్నాం. అందులో భాగంగా మేమిద్దరం విజేత సినిమా చూసాం. సో ఈ వారం మేమిద్దరం మాట్లాడుకోబోయే సినిమా విజేత. హాయ్ మెల్నీ.
హాయ్, నమస్కారం.
నమస్కారం. సో you watched first time megastar Chiranjeevi film?
I have seen him maybe in a cameo in more recent films.
Okay.
But this is definitely my first time seeing Chiranjeevi starring the lead role in a film. So I was really excited that you suggested Vijetha for us to talk about today. Because he won a Filmfare Award for this film, deservedly so. He was really good at it. But I feel like I finally get all the hype around Chiranjeevi. I think I just sort of remember a cameo or seeing him on a talk show or like an awards show appearance or something, and you can just tell there's this aura around him and what a big star he is. And so I finally get it. Another like small little trivia thing is this. We're recording this. I just saw Pushpa, Allu Arjun's latest film last week. And this film was his very first appearance on screen as a little 3-year-old. Now, I knew vaguely that I didn't understand how all of these families were connected. I knew people were related, but there's actually on Wikipedia, there's a family tree chart.
Then you need to know about nearly 13 to 14 heroes.
Right. I mean, so because the producer of this film, Allu Arvind, is Chiranjeevi's father-in-law. Yeah. And then Chiranjeevi is Allu Arjun's uncle. And so like there's this whole chart that lays it all out. I was like, oh.
You need to take a chart. You need to write down every name, how they related to each one.
Yeah, it shows all the lines and how
simply you can call all of them mega family.
Mega family, right? That's what I learned, and that just, I mean, not that that's unusual, obviously. I mean, for instance, this is a remake of a Hindi film, Saheb, starring Anil Kapoor. Again, part of a huge, a filmy family in the Hindi industry. Again, with his children being in actors, and him related by cousin and uncles to, so many other stars. So very similar. But I hadn't really charted out how actually everyone was related, so that was great. So yeah, this producer Allu Arvind, obviously has made many films with Chiranjeevi, and then later produced Magadera with his son. And this director has done several films with Chiranjeevi, and the to me, what was really notable was how Chiranjeevi spoke directly to the audience at the beginning of the film to say, you know me as an action star, but I hope you will, accept this different kind of role for me, that I'm trying to do a variety of films, and please give your appreciation. I just thought that was fascinating. So obviously this is my first
actually,
one. So
that is the early days of Chiranjeevi, but that is the mania of Chiranjeevi, because he recognizing at early days as an action hero. While he is playing a script-based role, then he tried to request his fans, this is a script-based role. That's the first time I am trying.
I just thought that was fascinating, that he just felt like he had to do this appeal directly to the fans say like, obviously they did really respond to this film, but I had never seen anything like that where he's like, you know me as the angry young man, but here I'm trying to do something different. Although they did throw in some pretty gratuitous fight sequences just to kind of throw a bone to his fans, like, okay, yeah, all of these guys are going to try to, beat him up in the street or whatever for no reason, or he's going to see some girl being harassed and he's going to, beat up some people. I mean, it had nothing really to do with the plot. It's just like, okay, I mean, we see that in modern films. I'm not saying this is something unusual from 1985, but I just felt like, okay, they had to do something for his fans, show a little bit of an action, a couple of action, big fight scenes. And, so I could see he's great at that, but I want to see more. So we have to put more Chiranjeevi movies on our list because I really enjoyed seeing him in this part. Yes, it's a family drama. Okay, but just before we started taping, I joked with you that you must have picked this because his younger sister needs to get married, but the family doesn't have the money for the dowry. And of course, they have to catch this extremely, good prospect for her. He's a doctor from Chicago. So I laughed at that moment. I mean, he's from Chicago, so come on. So, which is where I'm from. So I thought, you have all of these dynamics in the family. Chiranjeevi is playing the youngest son in the family. The sister that needs to get married is even younger than him. There's 4 brothers, and he has a special relationship with his eldest sister-in-law, and a kind of a difficult relationship with his father, because he's a young man who hasn't. It doesn't sound like he did well in school. He doesn't have a job. He wants to be a football player, soccer, as we call it here. And so no one expects that he would do something so, just so giving to donate a kidney. Did you pick this movie because you wanted to make me cry? I mean, it was so touching. He just sacrifices his whole career. He sacrifices everything for his younger sister, and so that his father won't have to sell the family home to pay for the wedding. And it was just, the last parts of the movie were just so touching. The whole family comes to the hospital, and the father's like, I can't even face him. But anyway, so the girlfriend, his next door neighbor, is played by Bhanupriya, and they have a lot of great songs together. So the lighter moments of the film comes from comedy between the two of them and their relationship. And there's some songs that I like better than others, but I could tell there are some iconic songs probably from this film, right? That 6 o'clock song where he's wearing kind of a red Michael Jackson kind of a jacket. That one was really wild.
That's where Chiranjeevi era starts. See, one thing, when NTR, ANR ruled nearly 30 years of Telugu film industry, the people get some monotony. Right. Of course, they are all legends. They all are great actors. But when people feel some monotony, then Chiranjeevi like actors arrive and they rule the industry with their talent and some extra activities like dancing, fighting.
Yeah. And I can see why, because he's the whole package. I mean, he was great. He was really great in all the dancing sequences. He was really good in all the fight. And he has the acting talent to play a serious, I mean, this role had comedic moments, but it had a lot of serious moments too. And, you really feel this anguish that he feels, wanting to do something for his family, wanting to save the family home and all of that. And just, his pain when he goes to tell his father, here's the money, and his father just throws it on the floor because he assumes, okay, this is my son who's a bum. He must have gone out and robbed a bank or something, because there's no way that he could be the one to save the day. Anyway, my favorite song was the Jivatame Oka Payanam. That one was a really fun song. Just I just love the music of it. And the melody was great. Now, one song I didn't like was the Chiku Chiku song, because basically the lyrics were like, aren't you, to the girl, like, aren't you ashamed of the way you're acting? Because she was really being flirty with him. And like, don't you have any shame? Was basically the lyrics. I'm like,
But my favorite is last one, that pathos song. Yenta
Yeah.
edhigipoya.
Yeah. I mean, that song, when it's showing him walking and going towards the surgery and getting ready for the surgery, and it's just such a mournful, beautiful song. I agree with you. That's my second favorite. That one is a great song. Just really beautiful music in this film. So how did audiences react? Did they really love him in this kind of a role? Did it lead to him being able to do a lot more parts like this?
In initial days, that is a mixed reaction. A mixed reaction came out, and later on it will be a cult classic.
Well, I know what, that's the thing. Sometimes when an actor tries to do something different, the audience has put them in a box, like, I love you for this, and don't try to do anything different. And that's still a problem for actors today. For instance, I'm a huge fan of Shah Rukh Khan. And when he's tried to break out of that romance role, I mean, he is getting older. He did this interesting film called Fan, and audiences hated it. I think it's one of his finest acting parts that he's ever done, where he both plays an obsessed fan and a star loosely based on himself. But it didn't fit the mold of what his audiences expect him to give them. And so it didn't get a lot of love. So that's the problem. If an actor is known for something, it's hard for them to sometimes break out of that mold and experiment and do something different. So but anyway, I really, really enjoyed this, but I do want to see, we have to pick another film that's more what Chiranjeevi maybe was known for the action film, because I do want to see more of him. I'm not saying I'm swooning over him quite the same day. Senior still.
I'm sure you'll definitely mesmerize with his acting and action and dance skills.
Yeah, I mean, his dancing skills are amazing. Yeah.
And one more thing, we need to talk about A Kodandaram Reddy. Actually, he is the one of most that combo nearly worked for 26 to 27 films. That is the record in South India.
I know. I was looking at his Wikipedia page of this director's filmography, and it was stunning. Like, just so many films and multiple films.
More than 100. More than 100.
How did these? I don't understand how they made these films so fast back in the day. Because this is a remake of a film, like I said, a Hindi film, which came out in February of 1985. And this film came out in October of 1985. So they turned right around after the other one was a hit and just made it so fast.
That is the time of Chiranjeevi. He acted nearly 3 to 4 films per year. In a year, he acted 3 to 4 films. So that's the reason he just completed 150 films in just 25 years. That is the reason.
It's crazy. I mean, obviously the production values of some of the films that we've seen, the older films from the 50s and the 60s that took an entire year to film, were not like this, because this is a family drama just set in a family home. It's not like they were constructing huge palaces and things like that, right? So the set design and the costumes and whatever that went into some of these older classic films that we have talked about, where I highlighted how great the art direction and the production design was. That's not what this film is about. This is a simple family home setting, or, there's a setting on a soccer field. I mean, all the settings are simple. Costumes are just everyday. But yeah, it's still amazing to me that they turned around and made the remake in the same year, because, obviously, and also it's a direction of going from Hindi to Telugu, and now it's more often that it's something that's originally Telugu going to Hindi, like Arjun Reddy, right? Like Arjun Reddy becoming Kabir Singh, and Nani's Jersey being remade by the
Yes.
same actor, Shahid Kapoor. So anyway, just interesting to me how fast they were able to turn it around. And
And
yeah,
it also, the movie also reflects the social status of that days in India, because that is the only reason the movie made first in Bengali, after that came into Hindi. Later on, it will be released through Chiranjeevi in Telugu. So only the reason at that time, inflation rate is going high and unemployment rate is hiking. At that time, everybody thinking education is only the way to get some settled life in future. So that is the reason his father, actor J.V. Somayajulu, is a great legendary actor.
yeah.
You when you watch Bharanam, his most famous movie, you'll observe his acting skills. Directed by K. Vishnath. Later we'll watch that film also. That is the epic film of Telugu industry. So that is these are the reasons that underscores Vijetha.
Right. Well, it was difficult economic times, like you say, and it's because the family is struggling. Although, a couple. I mean, it's like the evil sister-in-laws is a trope, that they're kind of hiding their wealth or hiding their money, and the poor, devoted elder sister-in-law who has no children, but Chiranjeevi's, like her younger son-in-law has become like her son. She's having to there's many scenes of her having to make do for the regular family finances week to week, because she's having to be creative with the cooking because she's not getting the money from
think
everybody.
Same tradition is continued nowadays also. If we ask about education, parents yes. If we ask about sports, parents no. No sports.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's definitely the father was just he goes to one football game and is just kind of amazed that everyone is cheering for his son. Definitely he doesn't see that as anything that could be a future for his son, despite seeing how good he was and seeing how in demand he was as a goalkeeper and whatever. I think they were implying that he could have played for the national team. He lies to his family that he's actually going to some big match and that's why he's going to miss the wedding. Instead, he's having surgery, the kidney removed at the exact same time. Oh, I mean, they really rinsed the tears out of you with this one. But I mean, it was a good story and a good family drama with a lot of tension within. It's just there can be such a good dramatic story just set within one family, and this is an example. I think the highlight actress for me, the father, as you mentioned, that actor was quite good, and I thought the woman playing the eldest sister-in-law, I'm blanking on her name right now, I thought she was pretty good. The love interest played by Bhanupriya, of the actresses that we have seen, not my favorite, but she was okay. Chiranjeevi, though, really impressed me, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more films by him. I thought he was awesome.
I'll watch you a movie of Bhanupriya. The name is Swarna Kamalam, directed by K. Vishnath. I'll watch that movie. I'll share the link. Please watch that movie.
Okay.
Then you'll know about Bhanupriya.
Okay. All right. I will take your word for
Swarna
it.
Kamalam.
Sometimes it's the way a part is written that she maybe didn't get to shine as much as she would have in another part. So I will, it's not that I didn't think partly I have a lot of just from that one song where, don't act so shameful song. Anyway, this film, what I thought another crazy thing was that the title, which means winner, came from a magazine contest. So the original Bengali film and the Hindi film, it's the main character's name, which is the title of the film. So it could have been titled Chinna Babu, but instead they held this contest and the winner, Vijetha, was got the most votes. And I think the people who won the contest actually got named in the title sequence or something. So that was also really fun little trivia about this movie.
Yeah, super. Thank you so much, Melanie. Hey, Chiranjeevi.
Right,
yeah, please.
I was just gonna say, this is a really enjoyable film. I'm really glad that you suggested it, and I'm looking forward to seeing more Chiranjeevi movies in the future.
Sure. చిరంజీవి ఈ రోజు మెగాస్టార్ గా ఈ స్థాయిలో నిలబడడానికి ఆయన ఎంచుకున్న స్క్రిప్ట్లు కావచ్చు, ఆయన ఆలోచించిన విధానం, ఆ రోజుల్లో సబ్జెక్ట్ సెలక్షన్ కావచ్చు, ఇవన్నీ ఆ స్థాయిలో ఆలోచించి తీసుకున్నాడు కాబట్టి ఆ సబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఎక్కడ హిట్ అయినాయి చూసుకుని ఫ్యామిలీ డ్రామా లేకపోతే యాక్షన్ ఓరియంటెడ్, తర్వాత డాన్స్ కి ప్రాధాన్యం ఉన్న పాత్రలు, ఒక మొనాటిని లేకుండా ప్రేక్షకుల్ని, కొత్త తరం ప్రేక్షకుల్ని ఆకట్టుకునేలా సినిమాలు చేశారు. దాంట్లో భాగంగా ఈ విజేత లాంటి సబ్జెక్ట్ ఓరియంటెడ్ సినిమాలు కూడా తీసుకోవడం, తన నటనని ప్రూవ్ చేసుకోవడం ద్వారా ఈ రోజు చిరంజీవి మెగాస్టార్ గా మనందరి మనల్ని అందుకుంటున్నాడు. మరో వారం మరో మంచి సినిమాతో మేము ముందుకు వస్తాం. అంటిల్ దెన్ బాయ్. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ మెల్నీ.
Bye.
బాయ్.